Greetings everyone, namaste. Hey, thank you for joining me. Welcome to 2019, and Taurus, this is your yearly forecast reading. We are doing 12 cards, one for each month, so it's a little bit of a light reading, but it gives you an idea of how to look ahead as the year will be unfolding for you guys. So it's one card per month, 12 cards in total. And even saying that it's a kind of a light reading, it's still in depth as much as the messages that come through. So I'm going to do a little bit of shuffling for you and see what the shuffling goes like and what cards we will be dealing with and working with. So Taurus, this is your reading from February 2019, taking you all the way into the first month of 2020. So let's just get some of your energy in here for Taurians for the year forecast, 12 cards. A little bit more, it's not quite there yet, not far off. Okay. Let's see how this pans out for you guys. Your first card, which is February, is the 8 of Wands. Great way to start with a busy, active feeling. Your second card, which is March, is the 5 of Swords. Your third card, which is April, is the Page of Swords. Your fourth card, which is May, is the Temperance. Your fifth card, which is June, is the Hanged Man. That's your second major arcana, because this is major arcana and so is that. Your next card is July, which is another major arcana. That's the Justice card. Then August, you have the 2 of Wands. September, you have another major arcana, the Hierophant. So this row here, sort of in the middle of the year, is belting out to be a fairly universally guided one, and of course we know the major arcanas indicate change at a deeper level. We come down to the last sort of sector of the year, the last quarter, and we have October, the 4 of Pentacles, November, the 6 of Wands, December, the 8 of Swords, in January, one more major arcana, and that is the Fool. So I think you've got a fairly good picture of that. Some of the cards at the very top may not be quite as in focus as the bottom ones, or vice versa. It's just the depth of field that the camera tries to work with. So all up you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcanas, and that's been a really common thread for a lot of the astrological signs as we've worked through. To date, I haven't seen any more than 5 show up. I'm waiting for that though, because I think someone might get more than the 5. Now remember to check your moon and rising signs, because they could also hold really relevant, pertinent, helpful information for you. You've got quite a nice mix of a variety of stuff going on here, although, you know, only the 1 of the Pentacles, so we're seeing more of the Swords and Wands type feeling coming through. The Wands can often be associated a little bit more with like career, creativeness, ideas, and the Swords are often associated with thoughts, feelings, and communication. So let's work our way through, starting with this one up on the left, which is February, the 8 of Wands. I just check that that is in focus as best as it can be for you guys, and I think we're about right. The 8 of Wands is a really cool card. I love it. I think it denotes a lot of activity, swiftness in ideas, creativeness, passion coming in. It can often mean movement, literally as in travel. Some of you may be traveling in this month. Now these cards are not set exactly to the week or day or hour, so I do find that they can be a bit free-flowing into and out of the beginning and ends of each month they are sort of associated with. So we're talking here, you know, late January, February, even early March with that card. This travel could indicate going by air, it could be for holidays, or it could be work related because of the fact that it's wands. It often denotes travelling over water to a different country or a different part of the country that you live in. It can also represent really quick, unexpected, if you like, creative ideas or thoughts coming into you, and often this can be associated around our work zone. So this could be new concepts being delivered to you at work. If you're working for a big conglomerate or corporation, you might have come back from a brief holiday and suddenly find that a whole bunch of new systems and analysis things are in place, because we are in an ever-changing world, and it's changing very, very swiftly now. So this type of card and activity is not unexpected around us. But for those of us who work more, with the grounded feeling, and we like not necessarily routine, but we sometimes like stability, these things can destabilize us a little bit, especially with their speed and rapidity of how they occur. The other thing the card can mean can be, for some of you looking, a really quick, inspirational, exciting, passionate relationship coming. And it's often tied into a romantic relationship. Now, other times it could be tied into a new business partner or some sort of business idea, or teeing up with other people to work collaboratively. So those are the fundamental issues of that month that we're starting the year with. So really positive in most dynamics and perspectives. The next card, as we move into March, we see the Five of Swords. Now, he does sort of... generally, most readers will take the same opinion on this card. It's one of a little bit of feistiness, and the person standing in the front here holding these 3 swords, and then there were 2 on the ground and other people walking away. Well, the person in the front generally denotes you, and it is often around a time where you're really determined to get something across, like, no, I'm not going to let these people treat me this way, or I need them to hear what I'm saying, I need them to understand what I'm thinking or feeling. So sometimes this card can come about when there is some sort of disagreement or argument going on around a subject matter or relationships. Because it's a sword card, it does deal with communication, and it tends to show that we've got really aggravated, or we're being quite dogmatic about a certain perspective that we want to kind of win. We want to, tell them that they're wrong, or we don't need their interference. So the people in the background of that card are often walking away, and they can walk away for good or for a long time. Now this can resemble working relationships, such as co-workers that you work with, or if you own a business, it might be your employees. It might even be your boss if you are working for someone. So if it's not a business related perspective and it's more of a personal friendship, these could be friends that you farewell for either ever or for a very long duration. Now sometimes they choose to, take their distance and think, oh look, I'm done with this relationship, we have nothing in common, or we are, causing each other disharmony, or there's a lack of trust. Sometimes they can come back after a period of cooling off or calming down, but primarily you would be advised to use caution in the type of words you are choosing when this card is present. And we see the Page of Swords next to this one as well, so there's a lot of potential communication, or the act of some sort of words or structure around this time of the year. I think it would benefit you all if you find yourselves feeling stressed or annoyed about how someone is either not listening to you or not understanding a project or an idea, or you feel that you are being abused by someone. There are ways of approaching it that could be more positive and have a more positive outcome than just lashing out. So it's something to really think about. And this is the advantage of having one of these, long-term readings. Even though they're just covering off a few things, it gives you an idea to think about in advance. And if something like this situation comes up, in the back of your mind you could go, aha, I can feel this brewing into something kind of glitchy, and I think I'll try and handle it differently. And that's why readings can be beneficial for you. But if we come into April and we see the Page of Swords, now even though he's still marching forth with quite strong determination, the pages are more often about the initiation of something new. Now again, it can come to you via communication, so it could come through written, verbal, or like nowadays through something like the internet. So there could be ideas coming to you, or prospects, invitations to apply for something or accept something such as a job interview, or even your own self putting out new ideas. So some of you may have an idea to postulate for someone, you know, you'd like someone to uplift, whether it be in your working zone, in the job you're currently in, or whether you are wanting to take this idea that you've invented or made to someone new, like a new business. So around April could be a really good time for these types of energies to be put out there and expanded on for the year. So it's a good time if you've got something that you want to get acknowledged or uplifted or started. That's what the page is all about. So timing wise, get to it and do it, Taurus. Get off your laurels in April and really push your dreams and ideas. If any of you are seeking job changes or looking for a new job, or coming out of, say, an education and being a first-time worker, this is also a really good time for putting in the applications and getting things like your CV up and running. We come to May and we have the first of your major arcanas, and of course May and the end of April are round about your birthday time. So to be honest, it's quite nice to see this Page of Swords with his intellect and gusto and excitement in life. You know, it's a good time around your birthday to bring in the initiation of newness and excitement and changes in direction. It's because it's the day or the time you were born, it's very, very powerful. So it holds a lot of extra cosmic energy in any plans and advancements that you decide to uplift. But coming back to the Temperance, she has one foot in the water and one foot on the ground, and she's balancing, or water or something between the two golden goblets. Now she often talks to us literally about tempering things in our life and bringing balance in. And interestingly enough, the Hanged Man down below and the Justice also talk to us, and the Two of Wands in many ways, and the Hierophant are talking to us a lot about balancing things. So I think for Taurians this year, bringing balance into your life at many different levels could find you moving forward with more freedom. And that sounds strange, because balance to me often means restricting something, or sort of refining it. But when we bring balance in and harmonize, not just say the physical or the spiritual, but the emotional as well, and the psychic and the intuitive, and our relationships and our career, when we bring balance into all of those dynamics, everything is going to flow with a little more ease, and it might be easier to manifest. And this is what the Temperance card tells us. She talks about physical balance, so diet and exercise. She also talks about some sort of spiritual balance because of this wonderful halo around her head. So it's about dedicating enough time to things like the meditation and your spiritual quests in life, your ponderings of where are you going in the future and how do you get there. What decisions do I want to make, or who do I want to spend my time with? Do I want to start a new business, or do I want to make more inquiries at the spiritual level, or do I want to become a entrepreneur, or a person who works in the social sides of life and the social sciences? This is what the Temperance card and all of these can literally help you to be pondering upon as you're moving through the year. She also talks about trusting your gut instinct and listening to your inner self or your higher self, watching out for things such as synchronistic events, and really starting to understand how they play a role in helping to support answers to questions that you might be asking yourself. So coming down to June, and we're still in with the major arcana, and it's the Hanged Man over here. So sort of heading towards the middle of 2019. And in the traditional cards, he's shown with a halo around his head down here. So that would be 2 in a row with these halos. And that would generally indicate to you some sort of spiritual epiphany or awareness coming in. So some of you might find this time of the year to be really fruitful in terms of finding peace or harmony or esoteric exploration. And again, this is a very personal thing. You don't often necessarily share it with others because it comes in from the cosmos in the white light type energy, and it can affect each of us in different ways. But it could be spending more time in contemplation or doing things like yoga, a little bit like he appears to be doing literally here. Uplifting some sort of philosophical perspective, or attending lessons or learnings about it, or growing or expanding your own physical presence in this realm. Some of you may be even moving into or exploring this type of business as well, or teachings to other people. You might be becoming a mentor or a teacher, or even a tutor. So the Hanged Man talks to us a lot about reaching some sort of crossroad in life and wanting to take a little bit of time to decide where you are going and in what direction. So he can be a little bit symbolic of spending time alone, or feeling as though you are seeking answers peacefully. You know, not like this up here where there was much more boom, 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 boom in that beginning of the year. We come to a period where we see a little bit more introspective contemplation, and quite often when we're like that, we do find answers. We find them both about the future, and we find them about the past, and we understand what we might have been doing to get us to this place we're in, and we might change certain dynamics or perspectives about ourselves as well. The other thing the Hanged Man can mean is that there is a stalling in the process, so that things become static and they slow down. So if you were applying for jobs and things up here, or wanting your name to be known, or wanting someone to listen to what you had to said, and you were waiting for replies, if you haven't had them earlier up here, they may slow down around this time, and this might be telling you to just be patient, you know, just let the universe deal with the timing issues and don't give up hope. But the Hanged Man can also mean a slight change in direction, and that maybe you need to adjust something, add something, or change it to carry on with a project. Some of you may decide to drop the project and start a new one as well, and that's a possibility. And this project could be career related, or it could be in reference to relationships, could be close personal relationships such as your romantic one, or close family members or friends. It can also even, you know, contemplate things like shifting, moving countries, immigrating, things like that. And interestingly enough, we come to the next one, which is July, and we see the Justice card. Now this is known as the Libran energy card, so this could reference Librans in your life or air sign people. When we were just talking a minute ago about people thinking, do I immigrate or emigrate? This Justice card is exactly the type of energy that might show up for that. It's when you possibly attend a court of law, or an immigration services, or a government institution, to apply for something or be seen or heard, to have your case heard. Now, sometimes this turns up when things are being signed as well, so documents for signing, something like a dissolution of a business or an association or a relationship. Sometimes it can turn up for things like divorce papers coming through. It can also turn up in family custody issues. So when someone is being brought before the courts of law for the family side of things, perhaps to do with children's welfare or children custody. The Justice card can often refer to the fact that timing wise, there's a little bit of a karmic cycle of events going on, and generally it bodes well in your favour. Now, it can often be suggesting that you are paying the end deal back of a karmic issue that's been going on in your life. Now, this can have been going on for some time, and I'm talking many years, possibly even a decade or longer. There's reference that this year for 2019 is the end of a 9-year cycle and the beginning of a new 9-year cycle. So this Justice card could be very relevant for a lot of you, telling you that literally what you do now and how you behave this year will set the tenure coming for the next 9 years. And that might be why you have so much inference about balance, 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 balance. They're asking you to think carefully as you move forward and bring balance into all dynamics and aspects of your life to enhance the next 9 years coming. So think back to what you were doing 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and do you want to repeat those types of situations? And if not, then listen to the Justice card, connect with your higher self, take some time out, find the illumination, and be aware of the direction that you want to go for the future. Because I have a feeling with the way the cards have aligned themselves for you guys, this could be a grand opportunity to clear away any negative issues. We come to August and we see the Two of Wands. The Two again is about balance in all areas. This one is coming to you again, possibly to the career type options, to ideas coming in, to concepts and looking into the future. So it's asking you again, don't look with a limited perspective. Take off the rose-coloured glasses and make sure you consider every option and every direction, because there might be something you're not seeing. And when you see the bigger picture, you'll go, oh wow, it could add to your idea, it could add to your concept, and it could make it bigger and grander. It could also mean including more people or listening to more people as well. It's a positive card, it's a good omen, but it's just reminding you that there's something yet, to, like the T's being crossed and the I's being dotted, that hasn't quite been finalised as you're moving into the future. So whatever this is, whether it's career, ideas, passion, creativity, or relationships, look a little bit broader and dig a little bit deeper yet, because there's more to come. The Hierophant for September, another major arcana. He's holding up 2 fingers. It's sort of coming back to the 2, talks about balance. He has 2 keys beneath here. I often look at the keys and suggest that they are indicative of something that we are going to be able to open when we are given access to those keys. And they're like the keys to a treasure, to a cosmic treasure, and when you get to open them, you're opening the vastness of your potential future again. So he has a really important message, and he seems like he is the lock at the end of this information, and all these bits and pieces have to be processed to get through him to then open up and get down to this magic one here for the beginning of 2020. He talks again about, I think the Hierophant and the Justice are cousins, like they're very closely related. He is kind of more of a slightly religious figure, but he's very moral and ethical and legal and abiding by rules. So you've got both of those, Justice and the Hierophant, and he is sort of suggesting to you, do things by the rules, follow things by the books, do it all legally. Go through the proper protocols and systems in place, and you will go far. That's pretty much what the Hierophant says. He also does talk about illumination and spiritual and philosophical processes. Sometimes, again, some of you could be wanting to seek a deeper connection to life or to the meaning of, or some of you may even attend religious ceremonies, weddings, births, deaths, all sorts of things that are a possibility that could happen in or around a church-like institution. Some of you may even be looking at uplifting this as a further educational part of your life. We come down to October and we see the Four of Pentacles. He's your only Pentacle coin card, and he is one of a little bit of a grimace. You know, he sits there tight-fisted, and he's very much like that old-fashioned nursery rhyme that used to be, the king is in his castle counting out his money. I think it was the king is in his parlour counting out his money. He does have more than he thinks, but he's worried about it for some reason. So sometimes this can insinuate things like perhaps something you anticipated isn't on time, perhaps you were hoping for a windfall or a loan to come through, or you thought shares might have been paying more money that you'd invested in, and you're thinking, uh-oh, where are the windfalls that I've been looking for? So it can be about balancing your money and balancing your finance, not spending too much when this card is around, but understanding that it's not as bad as you think, and that sometimes if you look a little bit deeper and again a little bit further, you might find that the money is more there than you realize. Now this could be around situations such as applying for a loan. So let's say some of you were saving to buy a house or an apartment or a car, or saving for a trip, and you thought you had all you needed, and then you looked at it and went, oh no, I'm still like 6,000 short, or oh, we still don't have enough money to go to the bank for a loan. Well, what that card tells you is somewhere someone might gift you something. So like a grandma or a great auntie or a best friend, or there may be something hidden like a dividend that comes to you. So it's worthwhile digging and asking, and then you'll be surprised at the fact that you probably will be able to make ends meet for whatever it is that you're wanting to buy. You'll probably find your $6,000 extra for the purchase of the car or the trip. So don't give up, keep looking. Your money isn't that bad. There is the opportunity of a small windfall and a small gift if you ask or look around. Oh yeah, and this is a good one. No, this is November. The Victory card. This is the card of success, the dreams of, yes, yay, something's happened. And it could be in line with this or aligned with it, because he's the wands again, and this is often associated with or tied into our careers. So for some of you, this can mean success and accolade around your career or your passions or your hobbies. Some of you, this could literally mean the finishing of a university degree and getting your, when you go and get your capping and you pick up your actual degree. For some of you, it might be a promotion or a wage rise or a new job or some sort of public notification. For some of you, it could be a personal achievement about finishing a creative project like writing a book, or again I keep coming back to inventing something or having something published one way or another. It's a great card and it bodes really well for many different areas. It also bodes quite well for health. If we go back briefly through here and we were looking at any health related issues, these two talk to you about balancing your health at all levels. We've mentioned that. This one can sometimes mean headaches, neck pains and shoulder pains. So some of you might feel those type of things need treatment during the year. And we're coming to this one in December. And this is a card that shows a little bit of tension and anxiety and stress. So this can be because we've had too much going on. We're busy at this time of year. It can be a message for you to slow down, take some time out, breathe some deep breaths. Don't panic about situations that you feel tied up in. And this could be around ideas, concepts, work, career, or relationships, or even some health issues. What it says is, literally, slow down. If she took that blindfold off, she would realise she is not actually caged in or penned in or restricted, that she can walk through these swords out the front. So she just needs to gain stability and some grounding, as you Taurians are so good at doing, and use her logical sense and go, oh, okay, I can see a way out. Yes, it's a bit tricky, and yes, it might take me a while to get the ropes off, but if I don't panic about this, I will get there. So I think the Eight of Swords is primarily about one step at a time. Calm down, breathe it out, do some relaxing, meditative, physically relaxing exercises as well. Get plenty of sleep. Make sure that you're taking nourishment like vitamins and minerals to replenish your body. And try and partake of some downtime and some peaceful, energetic pastime hobbies at this time of the year, which is the end of the year. And I know it's busy and oftentimes lots of parties and plans and visiting people. But we come to January for 2020, and you know, you've got one of the nicest cards so far. I love the Fool. It's the first card in the deck. It represents, again, inner sanction, inner realization, inner satisfaction. That Fool is on a journey of his own accord. He takes no one with him. He cares not what they think. He cares not where he lives. He is just satisfying his personal needs. And that is the greatest message of the Fool. And again, it comes back to connecting with your higher self, your visionary self, the self that we often don't listen to or put in the background because of the needs of others, and because we're sometimes too afraid to face our truth and our path and our destiny. And that's what he is. So as you march into 2020, he awakens your need for this spiritual acclaim or awareness or connection to yourself, and he marches to the tune of his own drums. And I think it's a wonderful way to start a new year as well, really representing yourself and putting your needs first and priorities first. Again, as with all things in life, balance is still required, and for most of us there are other people in our lives that we still need to think of and be party to, but oftentimes we have to put ourselves first at some point and make sure that we are honouring our individual spiritual needs and our physical needs, and then we become better at helping and supporting those that we love around us. So there we are, Taurus. I think you have a beautiful reading as for 2019 and as we roll into 2020. I do thank you all for subbing the channel and hitting the notification button so that you'll be aware of when any new uploads are posted, because they can be a little bit difficult to find. So I do again thank you for your support. It's a way of keeping the channel going and keeping all this wonderful information just being able to be relayed out to you. So tune into your rising and moon signs, and I do wish you all a fabulous 2019. Come back and check the reading over the year to see how it's panning out, and you might just be able to, sustain some of these things that are going on up here. You might be able to help yourself out through situations like this and really get on board for knowing the successes that are coming. Much love, everyone. Namaste.